Texas quarterback Kellen Mond 11 throws a pass in the second half of an NCAA college football game against Arkansas on Saturday, September 23, 2017, in Arlington, Texas. Tony Gutierrez, Associated Press, College Station, Texas. Kellen Mond has made plenty of progress since he made his debut midway through Texas's season opener. The true freshman quarterback will need to continue his rapid development if he and the Aggies' 31-10 Southeastern Conference hope to beat South Carolina 31-11 on Saturday before hosting top-ranked Alabama on October 7. "He's got a lot of talent," Coach Kevin Sumlin said. "I think it's a combination of a couple of things. He's getting more comfortable, and we're getting more comfortable with him and knowing what he can do." Mond couldn't help the Aggies to the win after taking over when Nick Starkel was injured in their opener against UCLA as Texas squandered a 34-point third-quarter lead in the 45-44 loss. But he's gotten better each week as the Aggies have won 3 in a row heading into Saturday's game. He threw for 216 yards and 2 touchdowns and ran for 109 yards in Texas's 50-43 overtime win against Arkansas on Saturday. He was tossed into the fire, running back Travion Williams said. As a true freshman, he was just pushed into the game and had to go in there in a big-time moment. But now he has a different look in his eyes. He looks at the game from a whole different aspect. He's becoming way more vocal. He's just becoming the leader he was born to be. While Sumlin was complimentary of Mond, he was quick to point out that there are many factors that have led to his improvement in the last few weeks. "We've got guys making plays for him, too. That didn't happen early in the year on the perimeter," he said. "We made some competitive catches. We didn't make those plays at UCLA." South Carolina coach Will Muschamp knows that dealing with a dual threat at quarterback like Mond will be a challenge as his team tries to get its first win in the series after dropping the first 3 meetings. But he's more concerned about his defense limiting running backs Williams and Keith Ford. The pair has combined for 560 yards rushing with 9 touchdowns. "The 2 backs they've got are big-time runners, guys that are going to create space," Muschamp said. "They'll get in matchups, and you don't want to have to tackle in space and get both of these guys on the ground. They can take the ball anywhere." Some things to know about the South Carolina-Texas game. Kirk does it all. Texas receiver and returner Christian Kirk had one of the best games of his 3-year career last week. After being held in check for the first 3 games, he returned a kick 100 yards for a touchdown and finished with 110 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns against Arkansas. Christian Kirk is as good of a player as there is in college football as far as a returner and receiver, Muschamp said. Close call. The Gamecocks were held scoreless for 3 quarters last week before scoring 17 points in the 4th to get a 17-16 win over Louisiana Tech. South Carolina didn't lead until the final 5 minutes, but Louisiana Tech went back on top with a field goal with less than a minute to go. South Carolina eked out the win when Parker White made a 31-yard field goal with just 4 seconds remaining. Red zone woes. The Gamecocks have struggled in the red zone this season, often settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. When asked about the problem, Muschamp recounted all of the mistakes they've made in the area to illustrate that there isn't just one reason why they haven't been better. "It's multiple things," he said. "It's not one thing you're putting your finger on. Obviously, we need to coach better in those situations, because if our players aren't executing, that's a coaching issue in my opinion. So, we've got to do a better job of putting our guys in spots to be successful." Watts, a player. Texas defensive back Armani Watts is the only player in the Football Bowl subdivision with at least 5 tackles for losses, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble and a fumble recovery this season. He secured his win against Arkansas last week when he grabbed an interception in the end zone. The senior has 260 tackles, has broken up 16 passes, and has 6 interceptions in his career. More AP College Football to collegefootball.ap.org and https://www.twitter.com/top25 Copyright 2017 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten or redistributed.